Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Chika. I live here in Orlando, Florida. I've been living here in the United States for a couple of years now. I came in here in 2017. I had a very rough journey down here, but I have met a lot of people and I can tell you that the experiences I have seen have been amazing. And so this Christmas, I met up with a couple of young ladies, and one of them I'm going to be sitting here and discussing with. Her name is Sally. And so she will be telling us her journey. She's from Zambia. She'll be telling us her journey from when she thought about coming to the US down here in the middle of COVID. So did the scholarship sway you from one place to the other?
That's a major factor.
Okay.
Of course, it's a major factor. And just a point of correction, it is need-based financial aid. So they do cover, as opposed to like being on a scholarship, so they cover it fully. And that was a major factor in my choice of schools, because I had to look at schools that would cater for me financially. And they say the Ivies are very good. There are also other need-based non-Ivy schools.
So if you are interested in that kind of information, let's get to it right now. All right. Hi, Sally. How are you?
Hi, Chika. I'm all right. Thank you. And
nice to meet you.
Okay.
Okay. So when did you come to the US?
2020 in August. Yeah, towards the late August, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you came fall of 2020, right?
Correct.
Okay. Wonderful. Where are you going to school right now?
I am an undergraduate student at Dartmouth College. I'm pursuing computer science and mathematical data science.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So where is Dartmouth College, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay. Actually, Dartmouth College is one of the popular Ivy League institutions. It's up north in the USA.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Hanover and New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire.
Right.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I didn't know about Dartmouth College until I met you. I think I see their ads, but I don't really know about them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, where are you from in Zambia?
Okay. So I'm not from the capital city, which is Lusaka in Zambia. I'm from Copperbelt, which is specifically Chililawambwe. It's a small mining town. It's a border town, so we mine copper and all that stuff. So it's the ghettos, but we're cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
See. So at what point did you think about or know that you probably want to come to the US for school?
That's actually a very interesting question. Honestly, throughout high school, I never thought I would go to the USA. So in my country, there's two popular universities. There's the University of Zambia and Copperbelt University. And I went to David Kaunda National Technical School. And everyone graduating from that school anticipated going to these top two schools. If it's not that, then you're not probably gonna go to university. So I had that kind of mindset. I was like, okay, after high school, it's just gonna be Unza. I'm gonna be a medical doctor, because my mom loved it that I was gonna be like, she expected me to be a doctor.
Okay.
Smart people, doctor is equal to being a doctor,
right.
Essentially. So that's how I thought through it. So I didn't know I would go to the USA or even start applying. But when I graduated, a friend of mine actually just gave me a call. It's like, Sally, this 2015 graduates, because that's an intake higher than mine. They've been applying, they're going to the USA and stuff. Let's just do this thing. And then I was like, okay, I'm down, because I was big on competition. I was just open, and I was back in Chililawambwe, and the prep center was in Lusaka. Okay. And as a girl child, telling mom I'm going to Lusaka to do SATs she's never heard of, she's like, hell no, girl.
Yeah.
You're not doing that.
Okay.
Sit back and do the chores. Your time to go to Uza is gonna come soon. So it was really challenging, honestly.
Okay. So let's pause for a minute and let's frame our audience. All right.
Okay.
What's the distance like? Because if your mom is saying no, you can't go to Lusaka, what is the distance? How much do you have to travel to get this done?
All right. So in terms of flight, it's about probably 45 minutes from Lusaka to Ndola, and from Ndola to my town, that's like a 4 hours drive. about
Okay.
like 120 km per hour. I'm gonna use km because that's what you use as Africans, yeah. So it's a really long drive
Okay.
if you're gonna go by bus, and yeah, so it's very far actually. Yeah.
Okay. So your mom said, "Oh no, this is not the time for it. This is not the time or the place," right?
Yes, she said that because of the physical distance, as well as, to be honest, even financial circumstances. So I had older siblings in school pursuing nursing and medicine, and I had a twin sister by the side. I had younger siblings,
Mm-hmm.
so they were focusing more on getting those people into like to sponsor them
Right.
in terms of education, as opposed to someone who had just graduated and wanted to go on an explorative journey, which wasn't even sure of. So it was a two-way thing. And then it was just super challenging, I would
Okay.
say. Yeah.
So how did you go about convincing your mom to let you get on this journey?
I actually did not succeed convincing her at all. So
Mm-hmm.
I took on a job um, at a local wholesale store where I would like work at the till, like check people out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they buy stuff. So I worked there for about 7 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was saving up. So after that, my mom saw the efforts, and then she was like, okay, I'm going to give you 4,000 kwacha, which is about approximately $200.
Okay.
And that was supposed to count towards the total tuition fee for the SAT program, which cost about 12,000 kwacha. You can convert to dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't raise the entire fund, but there was an installment plan that was available.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. How I'm gonna raise the remainder, God knows. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
So that's how I like went to Lusaka, and I stayed with my cousin
Okay.
at their house. And I used to go to school, classes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also like super challenging because, when you're living with someone, there's that expectation of you gotta do the chores in the morning. And
Right.
sometimes when you're working you're gonna study on the weekends, it's not necessarily like understandable.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta contribute, but the program was just as demanding as it was. So the
Okay.
challenges were as real as they were. I had to take part in the, of course, do the chores at home, but most
Mm-hmm.
of the time I'd be studying, going to the center, and SAT program was really a steep curve for not just me, but I know a lot of people that like struggled
Okay.
through it. Yeah,
So
I'm
let's
not sure
let's
I
frame
answered
a
your
little bit.
question.
Okay. What was the time frame for studying for the SAT for you?
The average time frame is it can range from 3 months to even a year, depending on how well you want to be ready for that exam.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it took over like about a year to like actually just get it.
Okay.
Yeah, to nail it, I would say.
All right. So did you take the SAT more than once?
Yes, I took it 3 times.
3 times?
Yeah.
So what was your best performance score then?
It was, I would not share, but it
Okay.
was very good to get me into an Ivy League school.
Fantastic. Okay, that's what we want to hear. All right. So it was very good to get you to an Ivy League school.
Yeah.
Did you have a full ride scholarship?
Yes. So I got a full ride scholarship
Mm-hmm.
and full flight sponsorship, and everything was catered for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it
So
was great.
okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Now can you like tell us a little bit about your application process? What that was like for you?
Okay, so after sitting for the SATs and having a score, I applied to the common application that I applied to like over 20 schools. I think there's also another platform that's less like, so it was about 40 schools. So I wrote essays. I got some of my friends to review essays, and applying for financial aid as well. It's a rigorous process. It's very demanding. And sometimes you might feel like you're not the smartest, when you're doing it because
Mm-hmm.
it's just challenging. And I like to tell people that they should be comfortable stepping out of their comfort zone.
Okay.
And I feel like for me, applying to colleges and just like putting the best version of myself out there. I know I can do it, but putting it into writing, they give you 100 characters to like describe who you are,
Yeah.
and they're gonna judge you on that, and you have to put it out there. So I feel like that allowed me, like the application process as a whole allowed me to, think critically about what I have done and what I would like to show people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or admissions officers. And yeah, I guess that was the process. I'm not sure I answered your question precisely, but
Okay.
yeah.
Now, but then let's reframe a little bit. Coming from Africa, right? I'm a Nigerian.
Mm.
It is not readily common for us to just want to put ourselves out there.
Right.
We learn to be humble. We learn to kind of suppress yourself. How were you able to? Were you always this confident, or did you walk through the process, or did the SAT process just change your frame of reference?
That's a very good question. First things first, don't be humble when you're applying. You gotta show yourself out there, because everyone is trying to put out the best version of themselves. And if you go with a humility game, you stay humble in life. So I would say I haven't really been I've always been humble as well. People will be like, "Oh, smart girl," and I'm like, "Don't say, come on," And after sitting for the SATs and going through the application process, I was like, "Hell no,
Yeah.
you gotta show it."
Mm-hmm.
You really have to make sure the world sees your achievements. Sometimes it's just necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, and the SAT process and college application process as a whole really did help me like become more confident and aware of like my achievements, as well as even motivate me to like do more. Like next time I'm faced with such a challenge, what do I have to say about it? Like what do I have to put out there? So it's always like motivating me from that standpoint. So I would say, if you have something to show off, show it off.
Okay.
Because you've earned it. You should feel comfortable showing off your achievements, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Now, so how many schools did you apply to in general?
Over 20 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I had like the top schools, the Princeton, Harvard, Stanford, and then there were what we used to call safety schools, which were not safety schools.
Right.
So yeah, it was like a lot of them. And yeah.
Okay. So you applied to a couple of schools. Did you get responses, positive, negative, from all of them?
A mix. It was a mix of them. In my opinion,
Yeah.
maybe they were not the best fit for me.
Okay. What the negative ones?
And then for the negative ones,
Okay.
and then for the good ones, I would say we clicked. So it was a mixture. Of course, I'm just joking, but like college applications is like you get a mixture of responses. Of course, there are gonna be rejections. You get deferred. You get waitlisted. So that's why you need to apply to as many schools as you can. And don't take rejections personal. Take it as feedback. So you work on that. They'll tell you, "Oh, this was a tough application season and stuff." But sit back with your application and say, "What went wrong? What did I not explain? What wasn't aligned within my application?" And use that rejection as something as base. Next time you're applying to different school, you know what exactly went wrong, and ask people. If you're an admissions officer, what do you think about my application? It's a really communal process. You can't do it on your own. Of course, if you can, kudos to you. But many of us had a community behind. Friends became admissions officers. They became interviewers. They became, advisors. It was a really you really could not survive that process on your own, and the struggle was real for everyone. So I advise everyone to just be optimistic even about rejections, because from rejections, that's what we grow. If you get something, you get a yes, that's good, but you live with it saying, "Oh, okay, I was the best." But from a rejection, you end up knowing where you could improve. Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good. Now, when you have been here now for 4 years, what are you going in? You're a senior right now, right?
Senior.
Good. So now, from in hindsight, what will you say are the most critical parts of an application process that any young person that's watching this, any person from your place, where is that you're from again?
Chile Lavomboy.
Right. When they're watching this, what are they supposed to be looking at? What are they supposed to be thinking about in their mind? This is what I should be looking at in terms of application to school.
Okay. First of all, I'd say start early. Right now, I know that college, the optional SATs are optional to some schools, and that's a plus. So start early, start looking at colleges early, have a common app application, put in colleges, research on colleges. Do not just sit and say, oh, I have to complete my high school before I start. You can multitask. A lot of people do it. And another piece of advice I would say is build your resume. Actually build it, engage in community activities, discover things that you truly care about, and grow in those, scale vertically in those fields, because that does help streamline your story. I know most of us end up changing our careers, but if you have worked on something for a while, it's easier to tell a more concise story that is more believable.
Right.
Yeah, and also build your confidence, because you're only as good as you say you are. I mean, I don't think anyone can believe in my achievements more than I believe in mine.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's the best advice I can give.
All right. All right. So, of all the schools you applied to, right, with the acceptances and rejection, why Dartmouth?
That's actually the question they asked. Why Dartmouth?
Yeah.
But so I know myself. I thrive in so just a little background. Before going to David County National School, which is a boarding school, a very large school, I was at a smaller private school at Concola Trust.
Okay.
And comparing the two experiences, I realized I thrive more at a more close-knit community where I had like 22 students in a class, or 40 students, as opposed to like 150 students in a class, because I love the close interactions with my professors. And looking at the options I had, I think Dartmouth stood out to me because it is a really close-knit niche community where we have like one-on-one interactions with professors. Professors remember your name, and it's just fun to like move around campus and be like, oh, that's my prof, and your prof is waving at you. You go out on lunch with your professors, and to me that really meant a lot in terms of like my academic experience and what I was looking forward to in the next 4 years of my life.
Okay.
Yeah, and also the location.
Okay.
So
let's talk about that location.
let's look. Yeah,
Okay.
right. So it's as you know, it's in Hanover. Hanover is in the middle of nowhere, I would say. And for me, that's kind of a plus if I'm thinking seriously about my life.
Okay.
I needed to focus, to be in an environment where I can focus on my academics.
Okay.
Because as I said, I know myself, maybe in New York, I'd be like living the party life. Who knows? Just saying. But Dartmouth gave me the opportunity to like actually bond with the people there and focus on my studies. So I think that's one of other reasons.
So did the scholarship sway you from one place to the other?
That's a major factor.
Okay.
Of course, it's a major factor. And just a point of correction, it is need-based financial aid. So they do cover, as opposed to like being on a scholarship. So they cover it fully. And that was a major factor in my choice of schools, because I had to look at schools that would cater for me financially. And let's say the Ivies are very good. There are also other need-based non-Ivy schools. And yeah.
Can you clarify this need-based assistance? I maybe there are viewers out there that want to like know what it
Okay.
is about.
Yeah, so a need-based financial aid program is more like they look at your family's finances. So if they think you can afford, then they will give you a scholarship proportionate to like
The amount you can afford.
exactly. And they,
Okay.
if they feel like okay, you qualify for like full ride, like
Okay.
they cover all costs, they will give you that. So it's all based on like your financial background. So it has nothing to do with how good your grades are or
Okay.
how well you scored on your SATs or your GPA. It's just if they accept you, they look at that, your
Okay.
need.
So did you know about that ahead of you applying to Dartmouth and accepting Dartmouth?
Yes, this is where research comes in. You really need to dig into the schools you're going to, what kind of financial aid do they offer, and what kind of scholarships are they? Do they depend on how well you perform during the college, or do they depend on your high school GPA? Because those are factors that matter. What happens if your GPA drops
Okay.
during the school term? So you need to do thorough research, I would say, before you apply or even choosing to apply for certain scholarships.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, flipping back, did you have all this information in Zambia, or did you get here and learn a little bit better about this information? Because the internet is very large. There's more than 5,000 colleges in the United States. So it's going to be really difficult for someone who doesn't understand this lingo to maybe to sieve out some of this information.
That is right. Yeah, so I luckily was able to find out about this information before coming to the USA during the application season. So as I was sitting for my university program, I was also doing my college research applications, and I had a bunch of other friends that were doing the same process. So today someone will come and say, oh, there's Brown University. Oh, did you know Rollins gives full ride scholarships? And I'm like, okay, let's dig into that.
Okay.
So it was more, I would do my own research, spread it out to my friends and say, oh, there's actually this small university here, or there's this big university here, and this is the program they have, and this is
Okay.
what the financial aid program looks like. So it's really intense research. That's why you have to think carefully of all the schools you're putting in on your application.
Okay.
And that's why it's not something you just think, wake up and say, I'll do it in 1 week. No,
Okay.
it's a build up process. And so the earlier you start, the more acquainted you become with the schools, and the easier it is to write out your application based on your understanding of what the school is looking for, what kind of fit is the school looking for. So yeah, it is research.
Okay.
Yeah.
So research, research, research. Now, so let's move forward. You came in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. Tell me what that process was like. You leaving your country, flying down to United States. What was that transition process like for you?
Well, first, the pandemic idea did not strike. When you're flying to the US, you're just excited until you
Yeah.
get here and you're like, whoa, hold
Okay.
on, and that was my experience personally. When I got here, campus was dead, I would say. There was really no one on campus. And classes were virtual on a Zoom cloud meeting. And I had to take my classes in my room. I just
Did you
signed
live on
in.
campus?
I stayed on campus,
Okay.
yes. One of the few international students. I know some of my friends could not even be allowed to fly into the USA. But I was lucky enough to come to the USA and take the classes during that specific 4 term. And they were all virtual. It was challenging because I've never really had that experience. I'm very rudimentary, like
Yeah.
gotta solve it on paper or something. But I had to take the classes. It was a really hard term, but it got worse when it became winter now. So
Right.
it snows in Hanover, newsflash. So when it became so cold, I really was finding it hard to navigate the area or just life in college because there's no one to. Winter is hard as it is,
Yeah.
and there's really no one you can talk to.
Yeah.
Everything is virtual. It didn't really feel, as effective for me, at least.
Okay.
So it became really challenging. And I would say I kind of got used to it. I found ways in and out, like I'd visit some friends, but we just had to sit through it until like things let off.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
you made friends. How did that happen for you in the winter and virtual?
You have to step out, put
Oh,
yourself out there. If you stay in your room, you really won't make
okay.
friends. So I had to interact with upperclassmen, people in the community, and go out with professors on dinners. And yeah, that's why I found new opportunities as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but really it took the effort. I needed to like step out of my room and actively make the decision to interact with people. And I think that's what helped me survive the winter that,
All right.
yeah, poor term.
So would you say this was your biggest shock with coming to the US slash Hanover, or was there something else? Are there other shock points you had coming?
There are a lot
Okay.
of shock points, I'd say. Some are cultural, others are just, you know,
Let's break them down. Spill it. So cultural, what, maybe one or two or three?
my biggest ick, honestly, is, football.
Yeah.
Football is football.
Football is soccer.
Why is it, why is football like, why? So I feel like the football should be the soccer and the soccer is football.
Well,
Right.
true.
That's one of the biggest icks I have. And if I go and tell my friends, oh, let's go watch football, they're like, wait, no one is playing like American football.
Yeah. Okay.
When I mean like
Soccer.
soccer.
Yeah.
And it's just, I look crazy, but you're the crazy one, you know what I mean? So that's one of them.
Yeah.
And then some of the food is like plain.
Yes.
I love like spicy but tasty food.
Yeah.
And food here is just so plain. I'm like,
Yes.
ew.
And you're an international student, you're living on campus.
Yeah.
Was the school feeding, do you guys have a kitchen or?
Yeah. So we do have a dining hall.
Oh, okay.
Dartmouth calls it Foco. We call it Foco. It's 53 Commons. And that's the most healthy dining hall, I would say.
You were doing healthy?
I do healthy.
Okay.
I do fitness.
All right.
I've been working out, trying to get my gains.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
that's my major place where I dine in. And sometimes I'm like, what am I doing in here? Because the food is so plain. But I'll say I'm used to it by now. Yeah.
Did you try to like make your own dishes? Was that allowed?
Yeah, it is actually allowed. We do have kitchens in the dorms where you can just cook. And yeah, I've tried to make some food. The corn is not the same. It's scary sometimes, but I still eat it. It's the closest I have to home. Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to speak to what age you were when you left Zambia?
Yeah, I would say I was in my late 20s. Oh, teens.
Okay, your late teens. Okay.
Right.
All right. And then now you're here, you're kind of trying to you're finishing out this year, right? So what are your plans looking forward?
Okay, so I am going into the workforce for now, like as a software engineer, but I do have startup ideas I've been working on, and I want to go all in.
Okay.
As well. So my plans work and do my personal things for the next 2 years, but I'm also applying for an MBA 2+2. I'm looking into applying for that.
Okay. Now let's flip back a little bit at your education improper here. Like, what was the curve like? Studying the classes, were they like difficult? Were they more difficult than you expected, or less, or about the same? What was that like for you?
Yeah, so Dartmouth is not similar to most schools in the USA because it runs on a quarter system, meaning we have 10 weeks in total to complete classes. So
Okay.
instead of having semesters, which is about 16 on average weeks, we have like 10. And that's school on steroids, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's definitely challenging, considering that we essentially learn in like 8 weeks, and then following week, week 9 is like a study break, and week 10 is finals week. So
Okay.
it's very intense in
Mm-hmm.
terms of course load. And to survive, you really need a community of people. And this is what I would advise everyone going out into college, not just quarter based schools, but also semester based schools. Find a community of people. Don't be an island
Okay.
because college will show you
Yeah,
your
I
place, you
agree.
know. So
I
you
agree.
need a community of people. It's definitely challenging for everyone, and you do need people around. Stay on your toes. Always make sure you plan your classes, your time.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
What have you changed as you've climbed up the ladder? You're a senior now. So what are you doing differently as a senior, maybe as a sophomore, compared to when you were a freshman, a junior? What are the things you have changed incrementally that has helped with your success?
Okay. First of all, is reaching out to people. Like I said, find people within each class. Just find one or two people you can study with, ask questions, go for office hours. You know, office hours are not, it doesn't signal you being dumb or something.
Okay.
It's just a faster way of getting your work done. If you're struggling with the idea, if you can't solve it in 15 minutes, just go ask someone.
Okay.
It's okay to ask
It's okay to
someone.
ask. Were you
Yeah.
were you in that frame of reference as a freshman versus now? Because most
Mhm.
people like try to keep to themselves. They don't want to look dumb, like you say. So have you changed over time? Or are you better at it, or was that your baseline prior?
Yes, I was. I'm speaking from my experience. I was an island. I was like, you know, in high school, I'd crack things on my own. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so for me, I had this idea that if someone is asking, they probably don't know, and I'm smarter than they are. Why are they asking me?
Mm-hmm.
But coming to college, I came with that idea, but over time, I realized no,
Mm-hmm.
that was wrong. That
Yeah.
was not the right way to perceive things. So I started asking, going for office hours, scheduling meetings with our professors to like get a clear perspective on a certain concept, you know, if I was struggling at all. So it's just reaching out, putting yourself out there, and you never know what you learn. And I did that. That's what I've changed about like how I perceived college. And yeah, I think I'm in a better place right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now let's as we begin to wrap up this session, let's ask ourselves like, what are the biggest lessons you've learned in the past 4 years?
Mm. You know, enjoy the finer things in life. In the
Okay.
middle of college and everything,
Yeah.
remember you are a human being, and um, appreciate what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, um, I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. One final thought. What
Okay.
is how's your family dynamics been? Because your family's back home in Zambia, you're here. What was that relationship like? Being far away, spending your Christmases out of
Mm,
home and all that. How did you navigate that?
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Um, I've also had, especially 2021, I felt furthest from home
Mm-hmm.
because a lot was going on in the middle of the pandemic. I had like some siblings that were sick, and unfortunately they ended up dying, and I could not travel back.
I'm sorry about
And
that.
yeah, yeah. So that was the hardest, the lowest I've been. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just had to make things work virtually to always communicate with them. And now they're getting used to it. They
Right.
literally just had a photo shoot today without me, and I'm like mad at them, but we'll fix it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's basically the dynamics. Everyone's like, we just talk virtually, call in every day. It's normal. It's
All
now
right.
normal, yeah. But hopefully we get to like meet soon.
All right. Well, we'll see then. So it was very nice talking to you and giving us a snippet of your journey, what it's like.
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
I wish you the very best as you go forward in life. Okay. And I hope that, I'll see you in your inventions. Always invite us when you start to launch. Okay.
Of course.
And I'm really happy to meet you this Christmas, this New Year. If this is a conversation you're willing to pursue, you're willing to understand more about, this is going to be the tea right here on this platform. Okay. Do you have any socials? People want to ask you questions. Do you do anything like that?
I'm most active on my LinkedIn. I'm sorry, guys. But my
Yeah.
socials
No,
are
it's fine.
just,
It's
yeah.
fine.
But my LinkedIn is Salifianji J Namula. You'll see it when you see it. But
Yeah.
feel free to reach out. Yeah, and let's socialize.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to put a link for all of her socials, at least the ones that are like she says she uses LinkedIn the most. We're going to put a link there, and we're going to link all the conversations, like the links, Diamond, and all the other things down there. And again, remember that if you're thinking about it, you can do it. There's a lot of people who have done it and they have succeeded at it. In all the combination, whatever combination of life you think you're in right now, someone has done it and someone is succeeding at it. So just give yourself a kick and then you can totally do it. Nice meeting you all and have a blessed day. So going into 2024, this is going to be our mantra. Sally, in 2024, just do it. All right.